All right, welcome everybody. Hey, back to the Bizinga podcast. Got some special guests on from Troy, Michigan. We talked about it last week. We're going to have some people from Michigan on, and that's always good stuff to get some perspective from around the country and even around the world here at the Bizinga podcast. Before we get started, two things. We talked about it yesterday. I'll share it a little bit later. The triangle of success in digital marketing, my favorite thing that we came up with. I actually drew a picture, so it's not even handwritten. It's actually done pretty good. And then to keep me awake today, I thought we'd go ahead and give a shout out to Kickstart. They don't sponsor us, but they should. But we're going to do Kickstart today. So I'm jacked up on Kickstart. We got Steve up in Michigan. Steve, how we doing? Who we got today? What's happening?
We've got Chris Elliott, and Chris is with Real Property Management Metro Detroit. Now, wait, before we get started here, I want to bring up that triangle because, I mean, I know you worked hard on it. But I just want to get into it like right now. So bring that sucker up, okay?
Let's see if I can share my screen. We're gonna learn something today. Here we go. Wow, look at that.
All right. Here we go. All right, Chris, we lost your picture. Are you still there? There we go. Okay, go ahead. Let's talk about the digital marketing success pyramid.
It's not a pyramid scheme, by the way. It's just a demonstration.
Are you sure about that? Go on. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you can tell. You can say what it is. Like we talked about it yesterday, right?
Yeah.
We talked about be found, be heard, and be chosen. That's what you're trying to do in digital marketing. So just a little visual for everybody that when we say be found, what are we talking about? With a local business or local marketing, we're talking about, the online search words. I always like to call it the snack pack, right? And Chris, just in case you didn't know what the snack pack is, it's when I do this. This is the snack pack.
Yeah.
You got to do the little gator chomp. So that's the snack pack, right? The three showing up in the Google Maps. The top three is where you want to be, obviously. And so that's that. And, social affects that. Reviews affects that. We've talked about that. That's why the arrow points back down to it. But it also helps with getting people to see your reviews and making that ultimate choice to make you the choice of what you want to be. Be heard, social, same thing. It affects people coming and seeing you, and it also affects your local rankings. So that's my dissertation on that. I could probably talk about it for hours, so I won't do that.
Okay. Thanks. I really appreciate that. So, going back to Chris, again, we're in a networking group together. We talked about this, and, I asked you if you wanted to come on. But, one of the things that, we could start out talking about is that, I think it was back in October when you started up on the platform, and kind of like, let's pick it up like from there and kind of like give us the idea of what happened between that time in October to like where we're at today.
Okay, yeah, I could do that. Just want to say thanks for having me on here, guys, though, by the way. It's a pleasure.
I like the shirt. Just so you know, I love the shirt. I'm gonna wear that shirt tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm going down with the button down. I love it.
Yeah, it's kind of warm. I could wear something like a sweater today. It's like 40 degrees. So I met Steven when I started doing the Troy Chamber group. Just to give you a little background about what I do, Real Property Management, we manage rental properties through Metro Detroit for owners that, for whatever reason, they can't manage those properties. So they have us be the landlord pretty much. So we're your local landlord. These people can't manage their properties for whatever reason. Maybe they're out of state, or they don't have enough time on their hands. They're doing other things, or they really just don't know enough about the business to be a successful, effective landlord to manage rental properties. So what we do is we try to find these people, and sometimes that is kind of tough for us to find people that actually need this service, whether it's going to be some type of marketing, but the main way that we try to do it is to network and build relationships, which is why I joined the Troy Chamber group and where I met Steven. And when Steven he had a small presentation one week about his web reputation platform. And being in the property management field, I thought it would be very beneficial to our company because we have struggled with Google stars, Google reviews, just given the nature of our business. So we have our tenants in all of the properties that we manage, and we're the main contact between the tenant and the actual owner of the properties. So really, we have the authorization to do only what the owners say. So sometimes we can't make everyone happy because the owner will not give us authority to do something that the tenant wants to, or funding. So this is really an example of a time that we would get a bad review on Google from the tenant for something we really have no control over, which is why I really thought that Stephen would be able to help us. When we started talking to Stephen, our Google stars rating was at about 3.4 stars, and we were towards the bottom of the list of all property managers in Metro Detroit. So he came in and met with me and my manager and told us how to go about the platform. He we gathered some contacts that we work with currently, and he put them on the web reputation repair, which contacted them and got us reviews. And it was really within less than a week, we received probably about, I don't know, Steven, how much would you say, 20 to 30 reviews that were 4 to 5 stars? Steve?
He was muted. That's all right. I saw it, and you are right. It was about 20 to 30 5-star reviews. It was good. And was that under a proof of concept type idea? Is that what we did?
That's what we did. We did a proof of concept for them. Right.
Okay. Perfect. Yep.
Yep. So within those reviews, our Google star rating went from like 3.4 to 4.1 to over 4.0 stars within that week. Just to give you a little idea of what this has done for our business, before that, we had probably 3 lead generating sources that we were paying for leads, either through pay per click or different types of web marketing. But where we're at now, we are generating all of our new business directly through our own website and our landing page. So we are no longer paying for any of these leads, which is a huge cost out of acquiring new clients and new properties to manage that Stephen really helped us with.
Well, I really think I need a raise.
Same here.
Hey, that's not going to happen. And I apologize, Chris, you didn't know this, but somebody was on this cast the other day talking about how they get paid weekly. So that's not going to happen until I get paid weekly. Okay. So you get your raise when I get paid weekly. So there you go.
All right. Sorry, Chris, go ahead.
No problem. Yeah, nothing but good things to say about that. I've recommended him a few times. Our last chamber meeting, actually, I was telling a story about another property management company in the same market as us. One of our competitors actually had to stop operations and went under. They stopped business. So they managed about 600 properties within the Metro Detroit area. And right before they stopped operations is when we had the web reputation repair. So our Google stars was over 4.0. So we were at the top of the list of property management companies. So every one of their clients that went online and Googled a new company to manage their companies, we showed up right at the top of the list and received like 20 new leads in the past couple of weeks since they announced that they were going under, our competitor.
So
Stephen helped us at the perfect time.
So Chris, I got a question for you. So how hard was this for you to do? I mean, you made a great impact in your business. You've made a great impact in your star rating. And listen, we know that people will leave you, 95% of people are going to leave you great reviews. It's just making it easy for them to leave your review and some of that stuff, right? So how hard was this for you to do?
It wasn't hard at all. I'm not in charge of really talking to many clients. So my manager provided all the information to Stephen. I think it was a list of everyone we work with currently with email addresses, and he took it from there.
Wow, that sounds pretty easy. Okay, I just want to make sure, because if Steve did it wrong, I was going to have to say something online here. So,
no, Steve, pretty good. It was easy for us.
Well, that's really what it's all about. Is that the other thing that I want to really say, this is really more about than just reviews. And that's what that pyramid, and that's why I kind of like wanted to talk about that for a moment, because one of the things that can kind of like really accelerate your process there is that if you like can add in more of the social media. And I know Michelle is like, she's kind of skittish about that type of a thing, but if you do that right, because like what we want to do is we want to like get out more content, for you guys. And the reason that we want to do that is that we want to promote those reviews in order to build you back into that snack pack. And, I know that you guys were looking at pay-per-click the last time that we talked, and you're not doing that. This is what's going to accelerate you, is by getting that, by following that pyramid. Now, that's not like a real expensive, lift there for you guys either.
So did you guys just see Steve? Did everybody see Steven do this? Can you do that again, Steve? That was cute.
Wait a minute now. Here I go.
That's the snack. That's the snack pack. So I love it. I love it. The snack pack. So Chris, all right. So you did this 5-day proof of concept. You're rocking and rolling, and hey, we're off and running with this thing. And as I understand it, there was a change made, right? Did I understand that whole part of the story? Did that happen?
Yes.
Yeah, a change with our company.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're using the Bizinga. We're using the Bizinga deal, and I'm sure that some heads got turned. And we do work with a lot of big companies, by the way, just in case anybody wanted to know that. But maybe that's not the perception all the time, right? And corporate said, "Hey, we're going to do this. Maybe we're going to do it." I don't know if they were going to do it on their own or they were going to try to do something different, but they did something different, right?
Mm-hmm. Corporate noticed that, and the first thing that they did was contact us to make sure these weren't fake reviews and that these weren't fake people that were going through like bots. And we assured them that it wasn't. It's our current clients. They were very interested. Corporate contacted us right away once we got like 10 reviews within an hour or a day. So what they did is that they decided to do pretty much the exact same thing that Bizinga and Steven did for us. And that was maybe 2 months ago, but since then we haven't seen any results. So we've been thinking about going back with the.
It's funny because there is a lot of technology involved in it, right? I mean, we use technology the right way, and we actually know what kind of device that the request gets opened up on, whether it be a Google device, Android, iOS, a PC, and we critique the message to those devices. So that's funny because I'm not saying that anybody can't do it, but anybody can't do it. Did I just say that? Because I wasn't going to say that.
Right. That's right.
Oh, that's great. So, well, good. I'm glad, I think it's good to share that because, and it's okay to try. I think the most important thing in business is, anybody ever heard of MIA? You know what MIA stands for?
Missing in action.
Well, it's a good guess. That's usually what most people say, but it's actually in business, it's massive imperfect actions. And it's, you got to do something. You got to try it, fake it till you make it. You got to try to do it. You got to start somewhere. I had a guy ask me yesterday. He was actually on the podcast last week. Kevin, I'm going to pick on you. I hope you're watching because I love what we just did about 20 minutes ago. It was funny. But Kevin was on, and Kevin has an athletic. He's a trainer. And we put him on the 5-day proof of concept. He's getting some results, and, I'm talking to him about some social media stuff. And I said, Kevin, man, you got to post every day or you got to do something here, and last night I was at training with my daughter. And I said, Kevin, I haven't seen any posts, man. So the funny thing is, he goes, well, what do I post? I said, does it matter? You got to start somewhere, man. Come on, just, take a picture of this wall. I don't care. Do something and start sharing your message, right? And by the time I got home, good job, Kevin. I saw your post last night. I know you saw me like it and give you a little thumbs up on it. That's important. So MIA, massive imperfect actions. You got to try something, right? You got to start somewhere. So that's my business acumen for the day. What do you think, Steve? Steve's like, Steve's digesting it right now, going, what did he just say?
Yeah. Yeah, really, really. And wait a minute. I thought we were talking about reviews. Now you want to talk about social media.
I talk about it all. It all runs together. Look, the reviews are free social media. It's great content from your clients to all that content, man. Some of these reviews, I'm going to show. You know what? I tell you what. Next podcast. So Chris, you're gonna have to watch the next podcast, but I'm gonna share a review, and I'm gonna tell you what it is. I'm gonna read it word for word, and it's 5 paragraphs, y'all. 5 paragraphs, and if you, me, or anybody couldn't make up this content, it is unreal. And I'll probably call the customer and ask him if I can do it because I know him. I actually know him personally, and but it's just touching on what kind of difference you really can make in somebody's day or what your business can really do. I mean, what Chris and these guys are doing, that's not an easy business, is it, Chris? What you guys do?
Not at all. It's a stressful business.
I've heard that before. I've heard that can be a little tough. I'm in Indianapolis. You're up in Michigan. I know a couple guys that do what you do. I mean, I don't know what they do exactly. I'm not the expert at it, but they're always stressed out. Matter of fact, the guy that I'm going to read that review on, that's what he does. Believe it or not, that's what he does. So it'll be interesting to have that spin. Mm-hmm. But so Kevin did that, and then he's doing a good job. So Chris, what else do you guys do from a marketing standpoint when it comes to you guys have talked about doing some pay-per-click or maybe have in the past? Any other type of marketing that you guys are reaching out that you feel has worked or maybe have not had success with?
Like I said, we had probably 3 different lead generation sources online, which were okay. A lot of times they would be good quality leads, but a lot of times they weren't. They were actually a tenant or not a true client. Also, some of those leads would also go out to another 5 to 10 companies. So we would be competing for all of those leads too. All of the new generation and referrals and leads that we've been getting through our own landing page, our own website, are very quality people that are very interested in our company, which is what I've been finding. And our closing percentage is a lot better than with these pay-per-click or other lead generators. It's much higher with someone coming directly through our own website. That's definitely another great benefit out of the type of people that we're getting out of them seeing our reviews on Google. If that makes sense, JD.
Yeah. Makes perfect sense to me, man. You're speaking my language. I mean, my language is a different language from any other language on the planet, man, and you're speaking it. So we must have grown up together or something. So reviews is easy, right? I mean, I think it's easy. It's all we do. So to me, it's easy, but was there any reservation in your heart? Like, yeah, Steve, I'm going to try this, whatever, what were you thinking when it happened? Because here's my belief. Here's my learning from last week. We talked to some guys last week, Chris, that are, in my mind, I would say are digitally dead. Okay. Just digitally dead. They don't even exist. They're like, what's that term? Off the grid. They were off the grid and they were beyond the grid. They were gone. But, I can look at something and I can go 0 to 60 on it, but really they have to experience things along the way. Now, hopefully as a leader, I can help them make those experiences happen faster than it happened maybe for me or for somebody else by showing them and helping them and coaching them. So let me ask you this. So let's go through the process. So Steven says, hey, you should try this out, or he talked at something and you said, hey, I'm interested in trying that out, right? Steven's going to work for free. Why not? I'd make him work for free for me too. That's pretty sweet, right? Sounded like a pretty good little offer. What's going through your mind? What are you thinking? Are you thinking that this is black magic? Is this real? What's your reservations? Because you have to have some.
There was some skepticism of him just not really doing what he's saying that he's doing, and that the results will show up, but it's not real people and it's not real reviews and our actual clients. There was some skepticism about him actually getting our clients to go write reviews on Google, and that possibly would be a bot, a robot or something. I really didn't know how he would do it.
There are things like that out there, so I understand that reservation big time, right? I
Mm-hmm.
think you can go on Upwork right now and buy 200 Google reviews. I think the going rate right now is about $50, but that's going to not last. Google's going to penalize you for it. It's not going to be the right thing to do. We do see that happen. As a matter of fact, I saw somebody post something the other day about it, and I about laughed. I said, I can't believe people are still doing this, but. All right, so you got some reservations. So you start to see the results. So now that emotion, something has changed, right? You're learning along the way here. You're having an experience. So something changed. What changed? I'm sure you're validating this like right away, right? You're like, is this really our customer? Is this really our customer, right?
Well, before we got on the program, I had Steven come to our office and talk to my manager. That was really my like vetting process, because she really will not let any garbage get through, and she won't take it. So she really put him through the question, drilled him with questions, made sure he knew what he was talking about, and she made sure he was going to not disappoint us.
Oh man, you guys vetted him? Did you guys do a background check on him? Because I got some dirt, man. You should have called me.
No, like I heard Steven's spiel and I was like, this sounds great. Like, what could be bad about this? So I brought him to my manager, and she was like, she had the completely opposite mindset as me. She was like, there's no way this is real. I don't believe it. You gotta explain this in better detail. So Steven did. And by the end of that, like, it was probably an hour meeting, he had won her over too. And we went forward with it.
So
I had to get my thought forward.
So as it starts to happen, now you're getting these reviews. So this happens pretty quick, right? This is almost an instantaneous deal. Mm-hmm. What are you thinking? What's happening? When does a paradigm shift happen for you that says, oh, wow, oh my, look, and what was your learnings from what your customer said? Because that's my biggest deal, is not really about the reviews or the number of reviews. It's always about what the client really says about you, and things that just are awesome, right? That you couldn't write yourself if you even thought about it.
Yeah, it was awesome to see people. We were talking to them that if they're asked to write a review, they would have no problem doing it, because they're so happy with how we've done it. They just haven't really thought of it. So that really just brought it right in front of their face, and they would say nothing but great things about their property manager, about things getting done, and their experience with our company. It was just putting it in front of their face.
Did you get any negative ones?
Yes, you did.
Yeah, probably did. Steven probably saw more than I did.
But it's okay, right? Listen, no business is perfect. And you said yourself, I'm in a tough business, right? I'm in a tough business. To make everybody happy is not realistic, but it's an opportunity to learn and maybe change an operational process or whatever it might be. I think a lot of times people are like, I'm scared to get online reviews. I don't want online reviews. I'm scared of what people might say. You got to take the feedback sometime. You got to start somewhere. And if you don't, you're fooling yourself, because I got a bad review the other day, guys. I got a bad review. I'm going to tell you right about it right now. I got a bad review. Somebody was upset because my salesperson kept calling them and they never returned the call. So apparently we were blasting them, I guess. So I said something about stop the calls or something. And so we stopped the calls. We changed it. We stopped the calls for that person. So, but you got to be able to change, and you got to be able to adapt, and you got to be able to learn from your customer. And that's like the first step of what I would call a customer centricity model, is listening to your customer, right? Giving them the opportunity and listening to them. So what did your manager think? At what point did she go, oh my goodness, this is pretty cool? Obviously corporate called, right? They're going, what in the heck just happened? Probably because the Google My Business page is lighting up, send them an email every 5 minutes, but
yeah. She loved it. She was so happy about it. And then corporate got a little more involved and said that they were going to do the same thing. So she talked to the owner of the business, and it was going to be cheaper since we are part of the corporate structure. So they were saying that we don't need this extra expense. We can go with the corporate version of it. That would be fine. But since then, that was probably 2 months ago, we haven't seen any results.
All things are not equal in that case. So, well, corporate should call Steve, because I bet Steve would give you guys a great deal if it was a corporate account. That's for sure. Because you guys are nationwide, right?
Yes. There's about 400 franchises across the nation, I think.
Oh my goodness gracious! Yeah, I think Steve could probably sharpen his pencil for that.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
You
Now, do
know,
you have any idea what they were paying for the last supplier for those reviews? Did they get
I'm not sure.
$100 or something?
Yeah, I'm not sure. It's definitely discounted through corporate, but we didn't get any new good reviews. We actually received a bad one pretty recently, and Michelle was like, "Oh, we got to call Steven. Like, we can't have this."
so the best thing here is we're gonna reach out to corporate. We'll hook you up with you. You can hook us up with them, and we'll make something happen. How's that sound? Would that make you happy?
Well,
Oh, yeah.
I think what we need to do is we need to get Mike to come back into the fold here and say what he wants to do in terms of that, because I was looking at you're still in our system, and I saw that in one negative review, and I sent an email out and I said, you guys got a negative review, please come back. So,
help me help you.
Yeah,
That's what it is. Help me.
You. But the thing that is interesting is that the longer you guys wait, that 4.0 star rating is going to drop down to 3.9. And that, in fact, you can see it on our dashboard that it's headed that way. Because like what we have is we have like on our dashboard where we set a goal. So we say, okay, where do we want to be? Now the star rating is really critical. If you're in the 3s, you're trash. You got to be in the 4s, and the higher in the 4s, the better off. So my goal for you guys now, this is going to be a little bit hard to kind of get your head wrapped around, but the more reviews you get, the harder it is to increase that star rating. So if you have like 20 reviews, and you can overcome that pretty quick. But if you have 200 reviews, then you have some serious work in order to do. So my goal for you guys is to get to 4.5. That's going to change your life once we do that. In order to accomplish that, it's going to take...
Can I guess? I think they're going to need 83 Google reviews.
Oh, yeah. You're looking at the dashboard. Wow, you just blew my whole pitch.
I just got to keep the listeners awake. Let's just liven it up a little bit. No, it's so dang true, man. I mean, look, I worked with clients that when we started with them had like 400 Google reviews, and maybe they started at a 3.9, a 3.7, whatever it might have been. I mean, the best one I've ever done started at a 2.4, and they're currently at a 4.5. But as you go over time, and if you don't take it seriously out of the gate, as you get up to 100 or 200 or 300 reviews, to move that needle is astronomically hard. It's just that much more work, right? That much more time. So, Chris, what else you got going on over there? So I love what you guys do, man. Property management. Is there a set fee for you guys that you just do a 10% deal, or what do you guys do? Do you price them all different? Everybody's got to cut a deal with you? What are we working on over here?
Yeah, it's we have a few different packages. Really, for the basic full service property management, 7.9% of monthly rent is what we charge off the top of rent. But that can vary. We work with many different types of property owners. For instance, we work with a lot of accidental landlords who have came into a house by accident, perhaps by inheritance, or maybe they got married and they have this extra house they don't want to get rid of. So they contact us. We'll come in, make sure it's rent ready, lease the property, place a good, qualified.
Peace and hair grease, Chris. Well, Steve, we lost Chris. What's up with that? And then you're muted. We got mute. Oh my goodness. We got all kinds of unmute audio. Hey, Steve, you're muted, buddy.
I'm just knocking away here.
That's all right. You just anything you got to do there. Well, look, I mean, man, I wanted to hear what their packages were, but maybe Chris come back in and we'll just see if he comes back in here in a second. He's probably like talking away right now.
Well, one of the things that, going on and expanding about that in terms of the property management is that, rent is really up right now. And, like in the Detroit metro area, it's hard to find a house to even buy because there's so many few that are on the market because everybody's hanging on to their houses. When we went to through the crisis, that back in 2008 here in Detroit, of course, we had the automotive crisis happening at the same time. A lot of the tradesmen, carpenters and bricklayers and so on, they left town. So there's hardly anybody around to even build anything. It's just starting to come back, but it has really, really pushed rental property like way up. So
I'll tell you what, I'm excited about the results those guys got, right? They got some great results. That is an amazing amount of results for those guys, man. And we do it all the time, right? We see this and I just think it's important that people experience it along the way. And I mean, I know you know that about me, that we love making a difference in everybody's day, right? We love the opportunity just to take a chance, try it out, whatever. And, I don't get as excited anymore when I see 30, 40, 50 Google reviews. It's kind of it just happens that way all the time. I mean, not every time. It just depends on how many customers someone's working with. But, so I love it, man. I think that anybody watching, if you're still on with us, since we had our little technical difficulty, and this is live, man, this is part of doing it live, is that people come in, people go out, and it's like peace and hair grease to Chris, but Chris did a great job. Give Steve a call if you're in
Michigan.
If you're in Michigan, you give Web Development Goals a call. You just heard it from one of somebody who took him up on the challenge to do a 5-day proof of concept. You heard it, so easy to do. If you're in Indiana, you can call me, call Bizinga. Feedback reviews is us, whatever. Give us a call. Check it out. Try it out. You have nothing to lose. There is no money down. There is no credit card on file. We don't play those games. We want to do the right thing by you and show you what we can do. And if it makes sense, great. If not, I don't know. I did a funeral home the other day. Can you believe that? And,
No.
I did. I swear to you, this is hilarious. So we did a funeral home, and my line is always, because we're still sales guys, right? My line is, hey, if it doesn't work out and you don't like it, I may still purchase. I'll still buy my mattress here or whatever. We're so okay to say no.
Did you buy your plot?
Well, that's what I said. I said I didn't use that line. I didn't say. Well, I might use your services. No, I'm gonna pass on that one right now. I'm not thinking that. I'm not thinking that way. So, really, guys, give it a run. Give it a try. Think about how you're found. Think about how you're being heard. That social message is so powerful. And then think about how those reviews are that ultimate buying decision for that customer, that your potential customer is going to make that buying decision with. We will. We got any more this week? I'm sure we probably do, right? We got something on Friday, I think.
Yeah. We got Pam Perry coming up on Friday. She's really a go-getter. She's been in this business for a long time. And I met her online, and she's actually in our same town. So
you might want to define how you met her online. You met her in a group in the same type of business. This is not online dating or anything like that. Okay, just want to make sure.
Nothing under the table.
A lot of people have certain beliefs about the internet, and I remember. I will share this story before we get off here, but I remember a car dealer long ago. I guess it was a few years ago, and we're talking about SEO and all this stuff. And it's an older guy. And he says, the only thing that the internet's good for is gambling and porn. I was like, okay. you may not quite understand what all is out there. There's a whole world out there, believe it or not. So, guys, and actually, if y'all want to know, that's actually the owner of the place where JR was the GM. I think JR was actually at that meeting, so he could even vouch for that statement. Awesome stuff, Steve. Thanks for coming on. Tell Chris give him my best. He did great, and we'll definitely catch up with you on Friday. I can't wait to talk to Pam. I can't wait to hear Pam's story. I'm sure everybody is on pins and needles. They're probably pushing the clocks forward right now.
Sounds good.
All right.